Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to our April meeting of the Keep Pharr Beautiful Committee. We'll begin by calling the meeting to order. Roll call.
Mari Caballero,
Here.
Richard Carranza,
Present.
Romeo Robles Jr.,
Here.
Frank Santana, Olivia Ramirez.
Here.
Okay, committee. I need a motion on the floor, please, to excuse our member who is absent today.
I so move.
Okay, Mr. Carranza brings the motion to the table. I need a second, please.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Robles seconds the motion. Being that we're just, he did call in or sent in a text, we'll just take this directly to, are there any opposition to this being approved? So all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so being that there's no opposition, this motion passes. We'll go on to item 1B, the invocation. Let us put ourselves in the spirit of receiving God's word. Lord God, we praise you and offer you our thanksgiving for all that we have, all that we are, and all that we shall be. In this time of renewed hope, we pray that we never fail to recognize your voice or lose sight of your presence in our day-to-day lives. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to number 2, administrative. We'll go on to A, the approval of minutes for March 15th of our 2022 regularly scheduled meeting. I need a motion on the floor for approval of the minutes, please.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, Ms. Ramirez has a motion on the floor. Any second to this?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we've got Mr. Robles seconding the motion. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor for this motion to pass?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Being that there's no opposition to the motion, this motion passes. We move on to administrative item 2B, discussion and action, if any, on Keep Pharr Beautiful projects. All right. What I'd like to do is I'd like to, if you don't mind, committee, I'd like to entertain the floor briefly on what we did with the city regarding our 10K, 5K that we had St. Patrick's Day. And then what I'd like to do is ask then our committee members who attended HuffFest to share with a little bit about what went on in HuffFest. So one of our projects was to help with the, in our way, to provide information in the packets that were given out to the runners that attended the annual 5K that the city sponsors for St. Patrick's Day. And I want to say there was possibly maybe 500 to 1,000 packets were issued to runners for that race. And in each packet, there was a flyer that was composed by Mr. Carranza and printed by Parks and Rec in about composting in English and Spanish, detailed summary about the importance of composting, what should go into a compost pile, and 2 examples of bins, both in English and Spanish. So I thank you for that info, Mr. C, and for Parks and Rec for their service and time in printing and stuffing those flyer packets. I'm sorry. So I thought that was awesome. So in touching on that, we were trying to spread information on composting to the general public, and we thought that that would be a great way to begin. The other thing that we did do at the event, on the day of the event, We were able to have volunteers from the one of the Girl Scouts, local Girl Scouts troop, and they did man some recyclable bins that were placed on site the morning of the event, and they were able to help direct the plastic water bottles to be placed into the blue recyclable bins. I was able to give a brief announcement at the beginning, right prior to the gunshot, to ask all those in attendance to please help us keep our beautiful city clean and green by disposing of their plastic water bottles into the blue bins that were located throughout the area where we were having the race. So again, I thought that was the project having to do with trying to capture the plastic water bottles from going into our landfill. So that is what I can bring to the table on that first project, which is the City of Pharr St. Patrick's Day 5K. I passed the floor over to Mr. Carranza and Ms. Olivia just to give a little bit, just to touch on what transpired at Hub Fest. One of you want to talk?
The day, that particular Saturday was it was very, an excellent day for an event like this. We had a tremendous, as you well know, a great big turnout. And this all speaks well for the city staff who prepared for it. But what Olivia and I did, we walked around, we left some compost information flyers, and the city staff, Crystal and her staff were putting them in bags to pass out to the public. In the meantime, Olivia and I walked around and passed them out to people as we met them. But I think with a flyer, it's just barely touching the community and let them know that composting is a very, very sustainable activity, something that we would all benefit, not now, but now and in the future. So we're trying to get the word out so that we can get people to look into composting and see if it'll make a difference. And instead of sending everything to the landfill, we compost and it goes back into our plants, whether it's at home or in the city, in the parks, wherever.
Yes, once again, we had such a big crowd, and I was so impressed with so many people. It was very, very nice. And like Mr. Carranza says, we went around talking to people, and they asked some good questions also on recycling, which is good, and of course we recommended the app, that can answer a lot of their questions too. And I was just it was just an enjoyable afternoon. We really enjoyed it, and having all the community come together.
Thank you, Mr. Carranza and Mrs. Ramirez for your input. Again, I am sorry I was out of town, wasn't here to help out. But I want to thank the city staff, Parks and Recreation, and Public Works, Crystal, and Isaac, Sergio, Miss Cindy, for again the flyers and for giving us the opportunity, providing us the opportunity to help in that way by helping to inform and educate our public. We're just scraping we're barely scratching the surface, so to speak. But we look forward to more continued opportunities. I know the city is opening up and they have a lot of other public events scheduled here in the city. And so we have more opportunities to help engage with our general public and educate them on the importance of recycling, composting, trying to keep our plastics out of our landfills, et cetera, et cetera.
And if I may add, composting is very, very important for all of us, especially in our communities. And I just want you to know that if anybody has any questions about composting or something and you haven't gone to the right place, maybe I can help. So feel free to call on me to help with the composting information, or eventually I foresee that we'll have a workshop some Saturday morning where we can call people over and say, hey, we're going to show you how to do home composting. And it's going to spark interest in this. So feel free to call me should there be any questions, any concerns about composting. Thank you.
Anybody have anything to add? I know, Mr. Robles, you were busy with the family.
Yeah, and I apologize for not being around to help, but I was also out of town 2 weekends since we last met.
Totally understand.
Yeah.
Totally understand. Again, thanks to all. Thank you all for your help. So then with that, if there's nothing else to add to item 2B, we move on to item 2C, announcements from, we'll start with Development Services. Any announcements, any info that you want to share with us? Come forth.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Good
sir.
evening, right?
Oh, yeah.
So basically, I'm gonna start off with our sky cameras that we have out there in the city in the trouble sections that we've had with illegal dumping. We started by placing one on 3/14/2022 on West State. Also, one was placed over on Joan Box Park that helped a lot. On 3/25, we had one in West Cantu. And we just had another one moved now. Its service purpose there was at Minnesota and Pharr. And that was placed on 4/01/2022. They've worked real well in those trouble areas. So we've had a lot of people throwing their debris whether it's not supposed to be there. We are still basically holding some people accountable, and it's worked out pretty good. You know, we give options. So it helps us out to basically educate, at the same time teach what they need to be doing out there instead of just dropping it off just about anywhere in the city. Usually in the central area lately we've seen a little bit more of it.
So, sir, before you go on, may I ask, for those listening and for clarification, your cameras allow you to see the individuals and possibly the vehicles. And
That
that's
is
where you
correct.
get your information from, and you're able to track the people down.
Yes.
And this is then when you're able to approach at some point later and address the incident with them, and then things are handled somehow.
Basically, that's basically, if we're lucky that we can find them, we usually get help from PD.
Okay,
So usually what we basically do, we get to see it live while it's taking place.
oh, okay,
That's what helps us a lot.
real time,
Yes.
okay.
And that's what really, we're able to make contact with some that we probably even caught in the act, which was driving by, monitoring the area.
So
Those-
this
but-
is very beneficial because people think that no one's watching.
No, they're working. We're seeing everything.
Oh,
And,
they just got that camera there.
yes, no,
no
they're,
one's
they're
watching.
active, and we can see everything. They worked out pretty good throughout the city.
Very good.
And hopefully we can just reach out to the residents, and hopefully we can educate them and help them understand that there's places that we can go, basically take these items they can dispose of. There's many areas within the city of Pharr that, especially the Public Works Division, they have their own basically system where they can bring it there, they can dispose for a small fee.
Very good.
I'm correct.
Very good. Very good.
Other than that, the number 2 item that we're kind of pretty proud of it, myself and Mr. Rodriguez, is basically the city of Pharr address plaque assistance program for our 65 and over citizens has been an outstanding success. We've had about 66 plaques have been approved, and out of those, 27 are ready to be placed within the next weekend coming up.
Can you expand just a little bit on that, please, to
Yeah.
explain to us?
Basically, these plaques are we've noticed either within the city of Pharr, also in the old central part of Pharr, some elderly people have dilapidated plaques. Their addresses, you can't see them at night. These plaques basically are easy for our first responders to actually find them because they illuminate once the light goes right over the eave of the roof or on the mailbox. Usually we're aiming to put them on the eave of the roof or on the fascia board. And that's a great thing for them because we can get there faster and make sure that's the area that's in question for help or any kind of rescue that might be taking place, or robberies for PD, or anything that's going to make it easier for them to find it. It's a great benefit for them. So far we're pretty proud. Poet, myself and Roy, the whole organization that we get together every once in a while, we meet. It's been good. We've had a good, I want to say, good success with it. We're pretty proud of it. Hopefully, eventually, we can keep on going.
Sir, again, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you made mention to a word, poet. Can you explain to the committee what poet is?
Basically, I can answer poet is it's a program where we all get together, which is I want to say the Pharr ordinance. Roy, can you help me with that one, please?
It's police,
Thank you.
yeah. But
That's-
it's the police, it's,
It'll be the police. It's been Parks and Rec, Public Works, Development Services, and as other departments do play a role in it also. It's helped a lot. And really, we come together, we come ideas and how we can help the
this
community.
is something that maybe we need to tap into.
So it's been good. And the other item that we're still working on, hopefully it'll be out there this weekend. We're going to have our roll-off dumpsters, basically within the central area of Pharr, much as they can probably be in the Egley, on the east side of Egley. Hopefully, we can have our roll-off dumpster and also our recycling tire trailer and also the recycling bin.
This
that
will be
location.
this weekend, the
Yes,
third weekend. It's Friday night, they get, right?
it'll be dropped off Friday afternoon.
And then through the whole weekend.
Yes, it'll be the 3 days that it'll be there and picked up on a Monday. It'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. On Monday, it should be picked up by the earliest 7 or 8 o'clock. So that will help alleviate some of the problem we're having with the displacing of trash and in certain areas that are not supposed to be there. It's been great success. It's helped a lot. It's throughout the city. And the other thing I wanted to mention, we're discussing myself, Mr. Rodriguez earlier, that we wanted to remind the residents in regards to weedy lots to make sure they maintain and have their properties cut to avoid the infestation of mosquitoes, rodents, anything that can surround the yard and the surrounding areas, especially in the alleyways. They're basically need to maintain the 5 feet almost towards the middle of the alley and keep it maintained, cut. That's what it'll look cleaner, the alleys. We can basically have, especially just rodents and anything that's out there. It accumulates trash and you keep it down to look nice and neat, basically clean.
Sir, you said 5 feet from their fence line or
Yes.
where they're.
You can do the 5 feet. Some people go all the way to the half of the alleyway and they maintain it. Usually you see more of this in the central part of Pharr, in the old alley.
Sir, I have a question. Were you all able to go out this month at all to help any of the elderly with their yards, or are we going to get back on that?
We're going to get back on basically to start doing it. We're trying to basically assess our equipment.
Sure.
It's been through
Sure.
some of it. We're
yes.
trying to do the tune-ups to the machines, make sure that the spark plugs are changed, just to maintain.
Mhm.
And we're almost done with them. Hopefully we can start doing it
In May again?
in May. Yes, for sure.
Will you send a text?
Yes, we sure will. I'll try to provide the information
Yeah,
to
just
by
if you-
text.
if you
I will
can.
let you all know.
Um,
But we should be ready. We got plenty of properties.
Yes, yes. And then just a reminder, if you need to apply for a grant, just let us know through Cindy.
Yes,
you
of course,
know.
we will. So far, we've been doing pretty good. We're just
Okay.
trying to, now that we're basically trying to acquire more battery operated blowers.
Mhm.
I don't know. Hopefully one of these days, lawnmowers. But so far right now, I'm gonna get the blowers and maybe weed eaters.
Okay,
Conserve, be more environmental friendly.
right.
That's what we're trying to do. So
Okay.
we're working on that.
Okay.
It's kind of a slow process, but we're gonna get there.
Not to worry. Just let us know. And I know I had several people ask me, when's the next one? So I said, okay, I'll
We're
ask
getting ready.
and I'll let you know.
Yes. Thank you for your time.
Does anybody have any questions?
by any chance?
Thank you, thank you, sir, for your service.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez, as well. Thank you, thank you. Okay, we go on to announcements from Parks and Recreation. Oh, you're gonna do both?
Yes, I'm going to do both of them.
Okay,
So,
good. Okay.
Crystal Medina, for the record, Public Works, Environmental Supervisor. So I'm just going to give you guys a recap and what Parks and Public Works are doing together. So for the March trash bash, we did have 13.33 tons of debris that were left with us. And we had 1,399 tires, and that is the paid tires, the free tires, the trash bash tires, and the Keep Pharr Beautiful tires.
Okay, how many tires?
Almost 1,400, one shy of 1,400 tires in the month of March.
I'm sorry, it just like
I know.
trying to wrap my head around, I'm sorry. It just seems like a lot.
And then, so that was for March. We do have our April trash bash that's coming up, and that's going to be next weekend. That's April 30th at the entrance on Mako there at Pharr Public Works, which is 1015 East Ferguson. It is from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. or until the containers are full. So if the containers get full prior to 4 p.m., we will shut it down. So we always encourage residents to get out there in the morning hours. That way they can have an opportunity to dispose of anything. So some of the items that we don't accept there would be concrete and refrigerators or any type of hazardous waste. The hazardous waste one we will be accepting probably in the summer months, June or July. We do host an annual hazardous waste disposal day. So that's when the residents are able to go and dispose of anything of that sort. We still have the Great American Cleanup going on. We've had a few groups reach out to us, and they are doing their own cleanups within their community. That will be going on until the end of May. May 31st is the last day. And then currently right now for Public Works and Parks, we are doing that Monarch Art Project contest. I believe we have over 70 entries of projects that were turned in. We do have 3 categories, and they will be voting online and also in person. So on Thursday, the Parks and Rec are actually going to have a recital on that day. So I will be there at probably like around 5:30. And anybody who's coming into that recital, we're going to allow them to vote on that day so they can have a chance to kind of see everything and see the setup, and we can get the community involved just a little bit more. So that will be Thursday. You guys are welcome to come and kind of see the setup. Some of the projects some of them are really great. It was such a great turnout for being our first time that we host something like this. So that's going to be just Thursday evening. And then on Friday, April 22nd, which is Earth Day, we will be there at Parks and Rec again. And that will be the native plant giveaway. So anybody who goes by and they want to get their native plants, they will be rounded to the inside to cast their vote on the 3 categories. And then once they come out, they'll be able to take their 2 native plants home. So that way it'll get the community involved just a little bit more. So that's kind of what we have planned out.
What time is that at?
That we're going to start the plant giveaway at 9 in the morning. And then once the plants run out, that's when we'll kind of shut it down. So once it shuts down in-person voting, then we're going to jump to media, and media is going to actually take pictures of all of the projects. And then based on the likes or the comments, that's how we will cast those votes to the in-person votes.
And do you have a cutoff for the overall votes?
Yes. So the last day to vote is going to be Monday, April 25th. And then the winners will be announced April 29th. So we're hoping for the on all three categories, whatever winner gets chosen, we will probably display that artwork here at City Hall. And then for anybody who doesn't pick up their projects, we're going to get with the library to see if they can, advertise put their projects out. Because a lot of them are really, really good projects that came out and they did a good job.
That is pretty cool. Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Crystal?
You said there were 70 entries?
Yes, if I believe we have 71 entries, if I'm not mistaken. We had quite a few elementary kids that did a lot of them, but we did have a lot of middle school kids also.
And then you had some high school, right?
Yes. Yeah, so it was kind of, sporadic, but for it being the very first time we do something like this, it was a good turnout.
And you invited the Pharr schools?
Yes. We invited all 4 schools to participate.
There'll be a grand prize or prize
Yes.
per category?
Yeah, so based on each category, we're probably we have like goodie bags set up for them. We're gonna have some plaques made for them, and then we'll advertise them, show them off on social media, just so the community can see them with their project and what they did.
Anybody have any questions regarding this? Okay. I know, so Ms. Crystal, would you like to tell the committee, given the good news about, how we did?
Oh,
With
for the GCAA?
Yeah.
Well, so the good news is
Yes.
I always start with good news because
Yes.
we want to be happy.
It's good
before.
news.
It is good news. We did get the excellence award again for the GCAA. We didn't get the main prize, the main award for the GCAA, but we did get the excellence award. So we're still doing great things in Pharr. We just we'll try again this upcoming year. And a lot of the parts where we didn't score high enough were the parts that we're already currently working on. So
we were
the
talking about
composting.
there are certain things that we
Mhm.
just couldn't answer effectively.
So the composting, having our youth involved just a little bit more, like we're already doing those things. So I'm hopeful that within the next time we'll be able to really score high and get it.
So real quick, don't sit down. The winner for our category was the city of Rowlett. And I'm going to read to you just a little. Rowlett is a city in Dallas and Rockwall counties in the United States, in the state of Texas. It's an eastern suburb of Dallas. The total population is 73,270. It is a growing, upscale community with nearly $1.5 billion in development. In that, I mean, it's like a new city. So, and it's located close to or by Lake Ray Hubbard. So, when we went to the Keep Texas Beautiful, it's in that area.
Yeah, we're
So,
in Rockwall.
we went to a conference a few years back prior to COVID, and that Keep Texas Beautiful conference was held in Rockwall, Texas. So, in kind of the same general area. It's very hard to compete with cities like this, but we can, right?
Yes.
But we can. So again, congrats. It's all good.
Right.
It's all good. So from that application, we learned where our weaknesses were, and we're trying to work on it. So it's all good.
Yes.
It's all good. So again, thank you.
Thank you for all
No,
your
yeah,
work.
congratulations.
Applaud you for all
Yeah.
the efforts that
No,
everyone
because
has
yeah.
done. Mhm.
Thank you. It was
she
a
had to organize
team
and get
effort.
all the departments to give her the info that she needed.
My apologies to all the departments that I bothered numerous times.
Oh, no.
Sorry. I just
It's a
needed
team.
information.
It's a team. Yeah. It's a team, and I yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's huge. It's huge. I mean, a few years back, we weren't even on the radar. So this is all good. Any questions for Crystal? Anything else you want to share with us?
No, just if you guys want to go by on Thursday,
Yeah.
the recital starts at 6. So if you get there just a little bit before then, just to kind of help pass out the, the voting cards. And I have a little, like an acrylic box that they'll be able to cast their vote in. So you guys are welcome to go by and help out. Even on Friday, if you guys
Yeah.
want to go by and just kind of see everything, because it's a really nice little setup
Mhm.
we're going to do.
Very good. Do you know if Parks has hired their environmental, I guess, or maybe,
Okay.
I'll ask, yeah. Well,
Okay. But
thank you so much.
yes, thank you guys.
Thank you.
you.
Hi
Hello.
there.
Isaac Escobedo, Assistant Director for Parks. Yes, we did offer the position to someone, and she'll be probably attending the next orientation.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
So we're gonna get someone to fill Lily's shoes. Because Lily moved on to, our urban ecologist moved on to Santa Ana Wildlife Refuge, which was a promotion for her. And we look forward to having someone of her skill and background to help us with everything that has to do with our native habitat and all things that we aren't experts in.
For
So,
sure. Yes.
very happy
Yeah.
to hear
No, yeah,
that.
and Lily did really lay the foundation
Yeah.
for this position here in the
Yes.
city of Pharr. I don't think many municipalities really have it.
They
So
don't.
Lily laid a pretty solid foundation, and we're pretty, positive that our new urban ecologists will be able to fill those shoes
Very
greatly.
good. Very good. Any questions for Mr. Isaac? Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. So we've got all our, we got development services covered. We got parks and recreation. We got public works. So we move on to administrative item 2D. Any board comments? I'd like to announce that our Keep Texas Beautiful conference is June 27th through June 29th in Austin, Texas. That should be, I think it's going to be big because everything's opened up more. I don't know if anybody else has anything to add. We look forward to being there with you, Crystal. Also, some good news as well. I believe we had the final reading to expand our committee from 5 to 7 yesterday. And so now it's a matter of submitting our names for our 2 prospects and for board approval. So it'll be a bigger, happier family and more help, right? More help. So that'll be good. It's all good. Anything else?
We look forward to having an extended committee here. New blood, new ideas to add to our ideas. So we're looking forward for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anybody else? Any other comments? Yep. Okay. Well, with that, our next meeting will be the 3rd Tuesday of the month of May, and we're looking at, I believe, that to be May 17th, God willing. Primeramente Dios, como decía mi mamá. I'll end it with, I can't find my quote, so I guess, well, here we are. I always end with a little comment. So if we had no winter, the spring would not be so pleasant. So what in this wonderful spring, gosh, we have so much to be thankful for and so much to be blessed by. And with, Easter just having been upon us, I don't know, it's just a time for renewal, right? So I look forward to what comes ahead. I look forward to it. So with that, do I have a motion on the floor for adjournment?
Madam Chairman, I move that we
I
adjourn
look
this meeting.
Mr. Robles, he brought it to the table. So do I have a second, please?
I'll second
Okay, Ms. Ramirez seconds the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Being that there's no opposition, this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you all for joining us.